A very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining our Homeopathy 24/7 podcast. We are going to be speaking to an array of international guests who will share their knowledge and experiences of homeopathy with you. We will discuss all types of subjects such as remedies, symptoms, and stories of health. No matter where you are with your homeopathic journey, we aim to inspire you on your quest to natural health and living. The podcast is brought to you by Mary Greensmith, the founder of Homeopathy 24/7, which is a global platform connecting you with a homeopath wherever you are in the world, 24 hours a day. So let's get started with today's chat. Please welcome Mary Greensmith.
Hello, welcome. It's so lovely of you to join us today. Thank you so much. And I'm really pleased to be able to welcome Priyanka Jadhav. Thank you for joining us, Priyanka. It's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you, Mary. Thank you so much for having me here.
And you are one of our homeopaths on the Homeopathy 24/7 team. And in this series of homeopathic remedies, you have chosen to talk about Calcarea Carbonica. Tell me why.
Well, it's a very interesting remedy. So let's talk about one of the most loving, caring, quietly powerful remedy that has a wisdom through patience. So that's why I have chosen Calcarea Carb.
I agree with you. It is just such a fascinating remedy, isn't it? And it's a remedy that really goes deep, and we can use it for so many different things, can't we? What first comes to mind when you think of Calcarea Carbonica?
So first thing comes to my mind is like from where it is prepared. So it is a mineral source, and it is prepared from oyster shells, and which prefers to stay safely inside the shell, which loves clinging to the rock for security. And it carries the same theme like support, security, and stability. And constitutionally, these people are generally very slow, steady, but reliable, thoughtful, and very down to earth, and often overwhelmed by responsibilities. Physically, if we see, these people are very, they have a very slow metabolism, easy tendency to gain weight, feel very chilly, and their feet usually very chilly and sweat easily. Emotionally, these people can be very content to stay at home and watch TV, preferably with someone to cuddle, and with a high supply of calorie nibbles. And so they enjoy comfort, very easygoing people. At the same time, sorry.
I was just going to ask, what sort of things would you consider symptoms? Would you consider Calcarea Carbonica, because it has got such a varied varied picture, a large profile. So when somebody first comes across Calcarea Carbonica, what are the main reasons that you might consider using this remedy?
So if you ask me physically, as we talked, that this remedy is a very deep acting remedy. So especially it revolves around the digestion issues. So I would be looking for any complaints with digestion, especially tendency to constipation, or having very sensitive sinus issues. And they can be like very sluggish personality, and the breakdown comes in this personality is when they are very much overwhelmed by a lot of responsibilities. They can take responsibilities, but internally they are very anxious,
But perhaps don't show it.
Yeah. But still choose to take it. That's very interesting.
Yes, absolutely. Because actually they're quite hard workers, aren't they? They like that responsibility. They like doing things. So I would always consider Calcarea to be a sensitive remedy.
Absolutely.
You think that they're quite staid, but actually they're quite sensitive on also, and you mentioned sinuses. So, they tend to come out in sensitivities and reactions.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Very sensitive to cold air, damp weather. So they are very, very, very better when they are at rest or they are with their routine. So
Uh-huh.
change is something, the very key point is that change can be very threatening to them, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's such a lovely remedy, isn't it? Let's you've mentioned a few things about this personality. So if we found a Calcarea Carbonica person in a film, shall we describe him? Shall we think about why we would think he's a Calcarea Carbonica?
Well, first of all, with the physical appearance, we can say that person is little obese, um, very slow to talk to, very gentle, very respectful, very down to earth. And, he can talk to or mingle with anyone very easily, who loves to eat sweets and eggs and fatty food, we can say. It's a very comfort food. So they prefer those kind of things. And very easy with their life.
Uh-huh.
But the problem comes when they get a lot of responsibilities.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
So they start with their inner world. It start disturbing, and they get into more tendency. The constipation part can trigger more,
Yeah.
and indigestion happens.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're looking for they're being affected really by everything around them because they are really very family orientated people, aren't they?
Yes. Very true. Very true. Yeah.
Have you got any examples, any cases about
Yes.
Calcarea?
Yeah, I have a very beautiful two cases which I have seen. I have seen many cases, but I would like to share two which I have done recently. One is with the way a lady came with a lot many complaints.
It's 7 o'clock.
A lady came with this so many complaints of type 2 diabetes with HbA1c 8.5. Started with the neuropathy symptoms, cramps in the midnight. She also had constipation, knee pain, osteoarthritis. She couldn't walk for more than 8 to 10 minutes, frozen shoulder with pricking pain, disturbed sleep due to nightmares.
Oh,
And she started all the symptoms, especially when she had gone through a very painful incident where she lost her business and her house in Hurricane Sandy in 2012. And she was living that storm inside her mind since then till recently she visited me. And she was taking painkillers for all her issues without any relief.
mm-hmm.
She finally decided to go for some alternative help. When she came to me, she described herself as a very quiet and very calm personality with lots of fears. She couldn't come out of those fears of losses which she had in her life. And very religious kind of person who would never like to fight, worried about her health, what would happen to me, what would happen to my family. And she started all these complaints since then.
Okay.
So I gave her Calcarea Carb, considering all her physical and emotional makeup. And she responded so beautifully to the remedy where she could sleep really, really well. That was the first sign after giving Calcarea Carb. And her nightmare gradually stopped.
Mhm.
And she was like, I'm able to walk for more than 45 minutes.
Oh,
I'm becoming independent.
yeah.
I don't have to rely on my family for my daily needs to help me, even to pick a glass of water. She needed help. It was that bad. But without any painkillers, she responded beautifully to Calcarea Carb.
What
And
a
also,
story.
her blood sugar levels, they came down drastically.
Okay. And of course, the exercise and everything else, the change will have helped with that. So it is absolutely life changing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You get the right remedy and everything kinds to balances and gets going, because we think of all those symptoms as slow symptoms, don't we? All the
Yeah.
physical symptoms are kind of slow, except the emotional turmoil in the mind. And you described it there as nightmares. And you mentioned before that if they're emotionally upset or worried about something, they're keeping it to themselves. So actually, this view of Calcarea Carbonica is very calm and like a bit like a swan, isn't it? Gliding through the water, and yet underneath, they're paddling away, just trying to keep afloat.
Absolutely. And when I saw this result, the one thing came to my mind. She lost her house in that storm, but she found herself again with homeopathy.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely right. It just kind of got her unstuck and allowed her to carry on with her life, because that's a lot of years, isn't it, where people are just totally stuck and can't move forward. And interestingly, the symptoms that you mentioned were all about being stuck, not being able to get that glass of water, not being able to walk, not being able, having that pain
Yeah.
in the joints, is all about sticking in one place, isn't it? Being stuck in that groove.
Yeah, absolutely. As if she was absolutely stuck in that storm, for so many years.
Yeah,
And the catharsis happens um, when we consider the holistic approach in homeopathy.
that's right. Because you're considering the emotional symptoms and the physical symptoms and the history and everything that's gone on before finding a remedy. And also, I mean, what's amazing is her blood sugar's changed, and I expect going forward from this now that her life is going to change, isn't it? Because she's suddenly able to do things she wasn't able to do before.
Absolutely. So much better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazing story. That's
Mhm.
so lovely. And we know that there are certain other remedies that are similar in some places, like sulphur, for instance, and perhaps pulsatilla. We quite
Mhm.
often think, is this pulsatilla or is this calc? How would we differentiate between those remedies?
So this is very interesting, and I love this part of differentiating the remedies and understanding the personalities. So if we consider sulfur, they are, in a nutshell, we can call them as intellectual eccentrics. You
Yeah,
know, they are very like emotionally, they are very like very proud, independent thinker, very much self-absorbed, we can say, dislike being what to do, dislike being told what to do, and they can appear deeply idealistic. And at physical level, we can see they are very warm-blooded, like they feel very hot compared to like, whereas Calcarea Carb is very chilly personality. And these people, they can hate warm climate as well. They can have skin issues, very dry skin, and they hate to bath, and they also crave sweet, but also spicy. So that's the difference.
okay.
Whereas if we see Pulsatilla, this is a very gentle remedy who seek love and approval. And the characteristic of this remedy is they can mold themselves to please others, you know. So they love harmony, they love peace, just very much close to Calcarea Carb. However, these people are very, they can change their mood frequently. They can be very touchy. They can cry easily. They need connection, reassurance, very affectionate. But they are not afraid of responsibilities. They can take responsibilities very happily because they seek love in relationship. So that's how they are different, and they are much better in open air. So they crave open, cold air. They don't mind that. Their body can adjust to that. Rather, they're very stuffy when they're inside the room. So they hate warmth.
Okay. And Calcarea carbonica comes from the inside of an oyster shell. That's amazing, isn't it? Just that remedy can hold so much. And it just shows you that we've got such a softness on the inside and kind of an exterior position that's quite different on the outside, which we've kind of discussed with the swan.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very interesting characteristic. So that's how we match how nature has made like some minerals in the sea, and we match the characteristic traits of that things in the personality of the human, you know.
Okay. So not only are we matching the actual remedy, we're matching the symptom. So the actual where the remedy comes from and what that means and what that inspires. It's just fascinating, isn't it? There's so many different elements to it all.
Yeah,
Tell us about
absolutely.
another case.
So the another case was very interesting. It was during the COVID time, and the boy was a very young boy, like 25 years age. He came to me, he called me, and he's like, do you think he was absolutely into his tears? And he's like, hey, Priyanka, can you please help me? I'm looking for some help, and the main healthcare system is not helping me. And I said, what happened? And he was super anxious. And I told him, just calm down and narrate me all your symptoms. What happened? He's like, I recently heard the news of death of my brother's friend. And since then, all the symptoms started with like palpitation, severe constipation, bloating, acidity, chest tightness, and he couldn't sleep. In the middle of the night, he would wake up and he would call 911 at least 3 to 4 times in a week. And he would be like, please check my oxygen, oxygen levels. Please check if my everything is working well in my body. He was super anxious. And so I explored him. What are you feeling at this moment? And he's like, I'm very sensitive. I'm a very sympathetic person. I have fear of death. And I feel like since I heard the news, I feel like the death is approaching me, and I want to live healthy. I don't want to die of any diseases. I don't want to die of any mental illness. So I need help. And considering his emotional makeup, he also told one very important thing that my brother is very strong than me, and I'm super sensitive. I'm fearful. You name it, and I'm fearful of all the creatures in the world. I'm fearful of all the ants and cockroaches, insects, everything. I'm like, okay. So he said, I need help. I want to be healthy. And basically, I want to be healthy emotionally and physically, where I don't think any other system can help me with this. And I studied about the natural approach of homeopathy, and I'm here. So I said, okay. So I also gave him Calcarea Carb. And I was so surprised. Within 15 days, he could sleep better without calling 911. And he could not have any nightmares of his, any death or fears, anxiety about his health. All that gradually disappeared. And his digestion improved. And he was like, I'm able to digest my food. I don't feel bloating. I don't feel chest tightness, no more palpitations. And he was like, I'm feeling emotionally much, much better. And so physically.
It's such a beautiful remedy, isn't it? And it's so deep and so long lasting as well.
Yeah.
That a lot of people might be thinking, oh my goodness, this remedy is going to help me sleep. Can you just explain to me why it might not be suitable for everybody who has sleeping issues?
Because how we can differentiate is what is causing the problem. So in homeopathy, we call that as causative factor or element strong.
Okay.
So we have to understand the deep emotion behind the fear.
Okay.
What the fear is. Is it fear about just dark, fear about... So in homeopathy, we have n number of remedies for different fears. And that's why homeopathy is highly individualistic. At the same time, it can heal you gently,
It is a lovely, gentle remedy, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Do you use Carb at all for acute cases? Would somebody have it in their first aid kit, or is it a remedy that we'd only choose for long-term or chronic health issues?
We can absolutely choose this for even acute cases, especially in children.
Okay.
Yeah. So all the worried mothers who would always say, my child is feeling very bloated or cranky. He's crying because of some stomach issues, during the dentition time,
Yeah.
So we can use this remedy as an acute.
Yes, you're right. It's one of those remedies, isn't it, that if everything is caused by an anxious moment, if digestion issues are worse when there's an argument in the house, or worse when they have to go and visit somebody they don't particularly like, then we can certainly think about Calcarea carbonica, but we'd be still taking into consideration whether it fits their personality or not, and
Yeah.
their friendliness and their laid back attitude to life, rather
Yes.
than somebody that is a lot more forward in their relationships, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Another very important keynote, which I have prescribed in acute in children, is a mother came with a child and she was complaining, I don't know why he eat chalks, a pencil. And so the craving for indigestible things, is where this remedy can do its wonders.
It's such a good thing to ask, isn't it? And so many
Mhm.
people turn around and say, well, he keeps chewing on the rubber, or he keeps chewing on coal, or it's quite bizarre, isn't it, that the things that they're picking up, and we would make us think of Carb for that
Absolutely.
reason. So we've seen it in children, we've seen it in adults. It's really across the board, isn't it? From babies right to end of life remedy.
Absolutely. Also in old people with indigestion issues, it can make its wonders.
Yeah, you're right. And as you said, for those people who get stuck in a certain groove and are unable to move on after a certain grief or change in their life.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that you would like everybody to take away today about Calcarea carbonica, what's the most important thing for you?
It would be they feel threat with the change.
Okay.
Yeah. They love comfort, they love rest, they love routine. Don't move them. They will be happy and they will never suffer. But any change happens, they will suffer.
Okay. Yeah. It's very, very interesting. And of course, that means that it's going to be a remedy that's really useful for animals too, because they like their routine such a lot.
Yeah.
It's been lovely talking about Calc Carb with you, Priyanka. Thank you so much for coming in and thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for having me here today.
We'll do this again soon.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka, for coming and joining me today and talking about Calcarea Carbonica. I've really enjoyed this session. I do love this remedy. Now, next week, I'm going to be talking with Barbara Hanachova, and Barbara is going to be talking about Burrita Carbonica. So another carbonic remedy, but very, very different. I hope you can join us. Take care. I do hope you've enjoyed these episodes, and I do hope you can subscribe to our channels. Now, there are various ways for you to listen to our podcast or watch it on video on YouTube. So whether it's iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, please do subscribe and please do leave us a review. If you leave us a review on these platforms, then more people will see our podcast. We just want more people to share the joy of homeopathy. It's a choice that everybody should know about. Please do everything you can to help us help more people.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and look forward to listening to our next one. Please don't forget to follow our podcast on your chosen channel, and please do leave us a review so we can continue to share homeopathy with as many people as possible. If you do have any questions, please do reach out to us on any of our social platforms mentioned in the show notes. We at Homeopathy 24/7 hope to empower you on your natural health journey.